Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bruno from the BTNHD, and today we're going over configuring VMware Workstation with Smoothwall Firewall appliance. Now, I was trying to find a solution to create a virtual machine and use firewall so I could create a LAN, a WAM, and a DMZ. And I found Smoothwall, and it's free, it's open source, and it's pretty awesome. Now, the instructions that they have is about 44 pages. Great instructions to get yourself up and running, but if you search online, there really isn't any great detailed information on how to configure it within the VMware Workstation. I figured out how to do it, and I'm going to show you guys how I got mine up and running. So what we're going to do is you're going to download the Smoothwall appliance, get the latest and greatest one. I already have it downloaded inside my machine. I'm going to show you guys right now. I'm going to go inside my ISO folder. And I have the latest one, Smoothwall Firewall. Okay, I'm going to create a virtual machine. So I'm going to go inside my File Explorer, VMs, and within here, we're going to go create a new folder. And I'm going to call it BJ-Firewall. Actually, I'm not going to create it here because this is for my VM view stuff that I'm going to be doing for you guys. So let's create it in here. Awesome. And I'm going to copy that path. And I'm going to go to File, New Virtual Machine, Next, Next. I'm going to do Other. And it's going to be Other, Next. And from here, we're going to do a Control-A, Control-V to paste that path. And the name of the virtual machine is Firewall, BJ-Firewall, right? Click on Next. I'm going to give it about 15 gigs. And click on Next. And finish. Now, once you create your virtual machine, you have to create additional NIC adapters for this to work. I created 3 network adapters. One of my adapters is going to be for my LAN. The other one is going to be my DMZ. And the third one is going to be my WAM. Okay, the internal, which is the LAN, is what my computers are going to receive internet access. The WAM is what's going outside in the world and grabbing that internet for me. And the DMZ, later on, I'm going to be configuring it for like the radius for VMware View that I'm doing for you guys pretty soon. Show you guys a nice little illustration that hopefully I do it right. So for me, my VM Net 0 was the bridge. The VM Net 0 is considered my LAN. My VM Net 1, right, this right here, VM Net 0. And then I got VM Net 1. And then my last one is VM Net 8. Okay. Now, this one right here is my bridge. This is what my bridge is. Okay. My bridge is also equal to the same thing as my LAN. Okay. My VM Net 1 is what I'm using for my DMZ. VMware sees VM Net 1 as your, I believe, host only. That's what it sees it as. And I'm going to show you guys. So it sees it as host only. Now, my VM Net 8 is considered my NAT. And the NAT is equivalent to my WAM. That's what's going to give me internet access. Now, with the instructions that SonicWall provides you, they do it by colors. The one that I'm picking for the configuration part is green, orange, red. Green is going to be my VM Net 0, which is going to be my internal network. My orange is going to be my DMZ, which is going to be my VM Net 1. And for the red is going to be the adapter to connect to the internet or the external network, which is going to be my VM Net 8. Now, the way that I got all this information is, let me cancel this, and let's cancel this, is I went into Edit, View Network Editor. This is how I got the VM Net 0 was bridge, VM Net 1 was host only, and VM Net 8 is the NAT. This is how I got that information. All right, so now it's time for us to configure our firewall machine. So from here, you're going to do Edit Virtual Machine Settings. I'm going to remove the network adapter that's already inside this virtual machine. Just remove it. And I'm going to click on Add. And just pick Network Adapter. Click on Next. I'm going to pick Custom Specific Virtual Network and make sure it's VMnet 0. Remember, VMnet 0 is going to be our LAN, which is equivalent to the bridge within VMware. And click Finish. Now do it one more time. Add. Network Adapter. Next. And this one is going to be our VMnet 1, which is host only. Now, this right here is our DMZ. And we're going to click Finish. And I'm going to do one more time. Add. Click on Network Adapter. Click on Next. Custom Specific Virtual Network. And we need to create our WAN, which is our VMnet 8. Now, this stuff is probably different in your environment, but from my understanding, when you install VMware Workstation, it's the same. And we're going to click Finish. Now, the last thing that we need to do is mount that ISO. So I'm going to pick Use ISO Image. We're going to browse to that image. And I have it right here. Double click on it. Press OK. And we're going to power up the machine. Now, I took some notes because I tested this stuff out. And my green and my orange, which is my LAN and my DMZ, I have already IP addresses already assigned to it. So that's what I'm going to use. And we're going to get into our virtual machine. And before I do that, let me get out of it. Let's close this out. There you go. And I'm going to do the Express because the Express is very self-explanatory. If you want to configure your partitions, you could do the Advanced, but I'm just going to do Express for now. Hit Enter. All right, from here, we're going to press Enter again. Enter again. Enter again because it's going to reformat the hard drive. That's basically what the warning is. This is a fresh Smoothwall installation, so we don't really have to worry about losing anything. Okay, so installation is completed. We're going to hit Enter. Okay. And it's going to want you to restore configurations. I don't have any, so I'm going to click. I'm just going to hit Enter for no. Pick your keyboard language. Mine is going to be US. And pick your time zone, which mine is going to be Eastern. Hit Enter. And give your machine a name. I'm going to call it BJ-Firewall. Hit Enter. Enter again. Now, this is really up to you. You got to read the instructions. Open, it gives you full access to your outgoing requests. Half open, most outgoing requests are allowed except for potentially harmful ones. I'm going to do open for now because this is my lab. This is for testing. And we're going to hit Enter. And now this is where you configure your stuff. The first step that you need to do is your network configuration type. Now, there's a lot of them. I'm going to pick green, orange, and red. Because, again, within the instructions, the setups that they gave you an explanation of what's what. And the one that fits my environment is green, orange, red. Again, green is for my LAN. Orange is for my DMZ. And red is for my WAN. And we're going to hit Enter. Next thing that you need to do is you need to assign your network adapters. So, as you can see, my green, orange, and red is not assigned to anything. So, we're going to hit Enter. OK. And the green is, now you're probably saying to yourself, how do you know which network adapter is being attached to which one? That's a good question. So I'm going to show you guys. Let's go inside our virtual machine, right click, and let's go into settings. Okay. And the green one has to be on our VMnet 0. So this is our VMnet 0. And if we click on Advanced, it gives us our MAC address. So if you look at the MAC address, does it matches? Yes, it does match. So that means I can actually assign that MAC address to that green one. So I'm going to click yes. 821 does match the orange one. And the red one is AC, and it matches all of them. Again, if you want to double check, these are all right here. Let's double check them. Let's right click on our virtual machine, go to settings. We checked our 0. Let's check VMnet 1. So it's A2, it matches, awesome. And for our VMnet 8, let's check that one, advanced. That's AC, AC, awesome. So all of them are assigned the correct way. Again, my green is my LAN, my orange is my DMZ, and my WAM is my red. Now I don't need to configure I don't need to configure anything because everything is configured, so I'm just going to hit cancel. Now the next thing that we need to do is addresses. So I'm going to configure my LAN. And there's a nice little warning about the IP address. If someone's remoting into your machine and you change the IP address, it's going to drop them off. No one's logged into this machine, so just hit enter. And now configure the IP address. Now, this IP address that I'm going to provide it's what my machines inside my network is going to get. So it's going to be 10.10.01. Okay. And enter. Network mask is going to stay. And we're going to hit enter. Okay. Now we're going to configure our orange. Now the orange one is our DMZ. So I'm going to do 20.10.0.1. Again, your DMZ network and your LAN network has to be different. They should not be in the same network, okay? And hit enter, and enter again, and enter. Now, last thing that we need to do is our red. Our red is our WAM. Hit enter. Now, to make everything simple, if you have a static IP that your machine is grabbing, you could do it that way. I am going to do it the easy way and do DHCP. And just hit enter. Hit tab a couple times until you highlight the OK and just hit enter. And then what we're going to do is hit tab, and hit done. And the last thing that we need to do is our DNS. So we're going to hit enter on that. Now the primary DNS, I'm going to pick Google's DNS because it's the simplest one and it always works. Let's go to 8.8.8.8. The default gateway is the default gateway that your host pushes out. So it'll be 192.168.0.1. Yeah, is it? I think so. Let's double check on that. So this is my host right here. So I'm going to do a CMD. I'm going to do an IP config on the host that's housing our virtual machine, right? And it is 1.1, okay? 192.168.1.1, okay? Hit enter. And hit tab again until you highlight the done and hit enter. Now, you got to pick your setting. I'm not doing web proxy. I'm not doing ISDN. I'm not doing ADSL. I'm doing DHCP server and configuration. So I'm going to hit enter on that. And I'm going to enable it. As you can see, this is my address pool. So whatever machine is within the network of the firewall, which I'm going to show you guys, it's going to get one of these IP addresses. One is between 100 to 200. Okay? And then we are going to provide a secondary DNS. So we're going to hit tab. And I believe I'm there. 8.8.8.8. Awesome. And we're going to hit tab until we highlight the OK. Hit enter. And we're going to hit tab until you highlight the finish and hit enter. Now give it an admin password so you can log into the GUI. And I'm going to provide it an admin password. Make sure you guys do remember it and write it down. Hit enter. Then you're going to give it a root password. So provide it a root password. Make sure you write it down. And the root password should not be the same as your admin password. Again, the admin password that we just inserted is for logging into the web part. And we're going to hit enter and enter again. And setup is complete. It's going to reboot. Okay, it's rebooted. It's ready to do its thing. So let's test it out. So let's go into this virtual machine. Click on this. And let's go to network adapter. And I'm going to custom specific virtual network. I'm going to pick VMnet 0. Remember, my VMnet 0 is the LAN. So we're going to press OK. And we're going to start this virtual machine. If everything goes well, this virtual machine should have a 10.10.0.100 or 101 to 200 IP range. If that's the case, that's awesome. Also, if this machine is talking to my firewall, I'm able to log into the GUI. So hopefully that works out. So now we're within our desktop on the virtual machine that we configured within settings to point to our VMnet 0. Remember, within our chart, our VMnet 0 is our LAN within our firewall. So we're going to cancel that, and we're going to right-click on the Start menu, and we're going to go to Command Prompt. Now, if everything works, this IP address should be 10.10.0. Whatever IP range they gave it, between 100 to 200. So IP config, and there it goes. Remember, 10.10.0, 100. And the default gateway, which we gave it 10.10.01. Remember, that was the primary IP address that we gave it on our green adapter. So let's test this out. Let's go inside Chrome. And once Chrome launches up, let's see if I'm able to go outside. Actually, we can even test it within the command prompt. So let's test it out in the command prompt. So let's go to ping Google, and let's see if I'm able to go outside. I'm able to go outside. Pretty awesome. So let's go 10.10.0.1 and see where does that take us to. So 10.10.01. You got to make sure you do :81, which is the specific port that allows you to get into the Smoothwall appliance. Hit enter. And this one would be that admin password that we gave it, not the root password. And then when you hit enter, you're logged in. How awesome is that? And you're able to surf online. I'm able to surf using the firewall. How awesome is that? Is that cool? That's awesome, right? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave comments right below. I will be placing all my notes on this video at my site, and the link is going to be at the bottom of the description. Don't forget about hitting that like button because it does support the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.